the Astros wrapped up their third season or the third series of the season. They lost the series 2-1 against the Athletics. They are 6-4 on the season, and 6-4 doesn't seem the best, but over a full season, that's a 96, 97 win pace. It's a tough pill to swallow this series. First game was just not fun. I mean, you got destroyed, right? 11-4 that game. Javier was horrible. Um, we'll talk about the offense in a bit in that game, but Javier and Munoz were horrible, 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 horrible. Javier is the big concern because Munoz is no longer on his team. He got DFA'd, right? Um, and he got sent on waivers. So I mean, whatever. Javier is still on this team, and he's gonna be a consistent starter for you. And he just looks horrible. He doesn't know where the ball's going. He's just walking everybody, and when he does throw it in the strike zone, it's a fastball right down the middle, and it's getting smacked. I mean, that invisible is not being invisible anymore. It's just getting hit around, and I mean, this is not gonna work. I mean, you're paying him 17 something $million a year, right? For one. But for two, he's your three starter in this rotation. You need him to be good, especially with Hunter Brown going on the IL. Hopefully that doesn't last very long. But with Hunter Brown going on the IL, Javier is the veteran in this rotation, him and McCullers. And McCullers we'll talk about in a bit. It wasn't as bad as a box score says, but Javier was just horrible. And he hasn't been a good pitcher in the big leagues. The last time he was a good pitcher in the big leagues was 2022. Because if you think about it, in 2023, he had a 4.54 ERA. And in 2024, that's when he got hurt a month into the season with Tommy John. And he wasn't good when he was pitching. And then last year, he came back from Tommy John in 2025, and he wasn't good when he came back from Tommy John. And now he comes back this year, you're thinking, okay, maybe he finally has a full healthy offseason, right? He comes back, he has a good spring, you're thinking, okay, maybe he can do something for you. Nope. He comes out, doesn't know where the ball's going. Everything it does for a strike is down the middle and gets crushed. I mean, what are we gonna do at this point with Javier? Um, the offense, or actually to finish off the pitching for this game one. Weiss looked really good in that little ending of the game. They're going 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 Ks, no walks. I think he's a candidate to get starts. Or Arrighetti in Hunter Brown's absence. I know in that first game against the Rockies, we were throwing Bolton, the guy that pitched in the Red Sox series. So I mean, I'm assuming they want him to go 3 innings, and then they'll see from there. Probably Weiss again for another 2, 3 innings. But man, that pitching was just horrible that first game. And then going to the offense, they weren't good, but that was kind of expected. This team usually struggles against Jeffrey Springs. He always just handles us for whatever reason. The starters got taken out in 5 innings that game. We're down by a lot. I think we were down, let's see, I think we were down 11-1 at one point or 10-1. It was just horrible. Max Muncy destroyed us, right? Just the whole series, I think he went 5 for 10 on the series. Lawrence Butler had a big series. I mean, the A's were in, except for that middle game, right? But as far as that first game on offense, there wasn't really much to take away from it except Yiner. He had 2 hits in that game, and one of them was a nice little double. So there was some hope from Yiner in this series, and we'll talk about a little bit as we get into game two now, right? Game two was obviously the really fun game, winning 11-0. Who doesn't love that? Excuse me. But game two, you win 11-0. Imai gets his first win. This is just such a fun game, man. Watching Imai battle and go, he went 5 2/3, 9 Ks, 3 hits, 3 walks, no earned runs. He gets his first win. It was just so much fun. And then Tang, man, Tang came out of the bullpen, went 2 2 1/3, 2 hits, 3 Ks, no walks, no runs. He's been a really good addition. And it's really fun to see how good he's been because they talked about it on the broadcast. I think it was last series that Dana Brown and his staff have been trying to get Tang in here for a little bit, for a few years now. They really liked his stuff. And to see him, he was not good at all with the Giants in those 2 years he was there. So to see him come over here and we bring him in, he goes to our little Astros car wash, and he has a 1.59 ERA right now. He's been great. And then Oker finished off that game. I mean, he's just been okra, right? Sub 3, as he does with us, as any pitcher does with us except Brave. But game 2, obviously the offense went crazy. Um, Walker homered, Cam homered. Uh, Pena had 2 hits in that game. Walker had 3 hits in that game. Joey had 3 hits in that game. And this is where we're starting to see some more hope from Yiner. He had 3 hits in that middle game too, and Vasquez had 3 hits. But I mean, if you watch the game, they were kind of fluke hits, or not kind of. They were fluke hits. But I mean, it's just good to see these guys hit, man. And that game was kind of funny, man, because Jordan got walked 4 times. So he went 1 for 1 with 4 walks. It's just so funny. You know, watching Jordan hit, and to pair that, watching Cam Smith play defense is like waking up and being a little kid on Christmas. It's the same feeling watching those guys do what they do. It's so fun to watch this. Cam play defense and Jordan hit. Jordan's the best hitter in baseball right now. Um, it's kind of cool because looking at his stat cast, he's 100 percentile in xWOBA, 100 percentile in expected batting average, 100 percentile in expected slugging, 99 percentile in average exit velocity, 96th percentile in barrel percentage, 94th percentile in hard hit percentage, 93rd percentile in sweet spot. This is where it gets a little interesting though for his like below the hood, under the hood numbers, so to say. His bat speed is at 73.9 right now, which is a little weird because usually Jordan sits in about 76 miles an hour and change, right? So for it to go down over basically 2.5 miles an hour, that's concerning. But he's still hitting the crap out of the baseball. So I mean, I wonder if potentially this is a concentrated effort to maybe stay healthy. He's saying I don't need to swing the bat as hard as I've done in the past um to still be a great hitter. Obviously, he's been the best hitter in baseball, and maybe now it allows him to not put as much wear and tear on his body. Maybe that'll help him stay healthy. Maybe because I doubt Jordan's bat speed drops like that without us knowing about some sort of injury that happened or something, right? I'm assuming that's a concentrated effort, and hopefully it helps with his injuries. He's able to just like, lower maintenance for his body. But he's been great, right? He's been great. Um, now, now we get into this final game. This game on Sunday. What a weird game. I mean, it started off great, right? I mean, 0-0 through the fourth, and then Jordan starts it off with a mammoth home run to make it 2-0, right? And then we keep going, we score, we end up getting an RBI on a Cam Smith single, and then the A's come back and they score 4 unanswered, right? So now we're in the seventh, and Walker hits a 2-run homer to give us the lead. My bad. The A's had 5 at that point, so to tie the game. And then Brent Rooker homered to give the A's a 2-run lead. And then the A's ended up getting it to 9 runs. And now we're on the top of the 8th, and of all people, Jake Myers homers to make it 6-9. And then, Altuve double made it 7-9. And then Christian Walker and Correa couldn't come up with the bases loaded, which was kind of frustrating. We'll talk about Correa in a little bit. I'm having a little bit of frustration with him. But then Cam comes up clutch and ties the game 9-9. And then the A's come back. They don't do nothing. We go to extra innings. We get that run from Correa's single. And then we couldn't get nothing after that, which is also really frustrating because we had the bases loaded for Cam and Yiner, and they just did nothing. Cam struck out, Yiner flew out, and then Abreu came in for that second inning of work and imploded. Or no, I'm sorry. Abreu came in just that one inning and was horrible. Had no clue what he was doing. Right? But this offense looked really good in the game. We had these are the stats for yesterday's game or for Sunday's game, that game 3 against the Athletics. 10 runs, 11 hits, 11 walks, 11 strikeouts. Um, Almost all the starters had a hit. Only Joey and Yiner didn't, but Joey walked. Yiner just went straight up 0 for 6, but he had no Ks, so I mean, there's that. But Yiner's not really a guy that Ks too much. But there was some hope in this series for Yiner. But I really want to talk about Carlos. One thing I would want for Joe in this lineup, a spot up being Joe, right, is to flip Walker and Correa because Correa keeps coming up with the bases loaded and just grounds into double plays and grounds into double plays. Now he does a good job of coming up a good amount, right? But Walker's just been so much better this year. I would like to see Walker hitting that 4 spot. I mean, maybe he gets those at bats with the bases loaded instead of a double play. Maybe Walker just hits a line drive in the gap or for a fly ball for a sac fly. But I mean, I'm assuming Correa leads the league in double plays because he has like 5 of them at this point. It's been so frustrating, man. Like he cannot stay out of double plays. Another thing, Joey's been great. And Joey, for me personally, he's so fun to watch taking at bat because he just goes up the middle so much. It's just so satisfying. Watching that baseball go right back where it was hit, just right up the middle. Such a satisfying way to hit, man. And McCullers, I didn't think McCullers was that bad. He just kind of got screwed over with some defensive mishaps. The Astros, I mean, they couldn't figure out what was going on this game. They had that error on McCullers, and then they had that error on Correa, and then they had the non-errors, or they were errors but weren't charges errors, right? Yiner missing that pop up. I mean, and that's one where Yiner's moving backwards. He's trying to find the ball. You're hoping Walker comes to help with him, but that just falls. It's an infield pop up that falls for a hit. It's not counted as an error, but it's an error. And then later on in the game, you had that pop fly to what's his Nick Allen. And he couldn't get that. He couldn't get there. That was a little frustrating. And then the one that Jake loses in the sun, um, it happens, but it's so frustrating knowing that he just didn't have sunglasses. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he would have caught it if he did, but you're thinking maybe he could have. Brett Rooker also destroyed you in this game. He had 6 RBIs in that final game. It's just such a sad game to lose because it was such a fun game to watch at the end of the game when they're just going back and forth. And Altuve made this like diving play in the bottom of the 9th to save the game. And you're thinking, here we go, let's get this win. And then it ends the way it did. I mean, that's just so frustrating. But man, Brian Abreu. um, what do we even say about Brian Abreu at this point? He can't throw a strike, man. Like he doesn't know where the ball's going. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if his mechanics are off or something mental, but I mean, he doesn't know where the ball's going, man. He threw 23 pitches, 11 of them for balls. That's basically 50% balls. That's just not gonna cut it as a closer. And Abreu's never been this pinpoint guy, but I mean, he's been able to throw strikes. This is just bad. And he stayed away from the fastball from his first 12 pitches. And the first fastball he throws was way out of the zone. And then the one that gave up the home run to Rooker to end the game, that fastball was just cookie right down the middle, right on the inner third. Like beautiful pitch for Rooker to hit, like just a meatball at 96 miles an hour. And it's it's confusing. Like you don't think Abreu's scared of the closer role. He's pitched in the World Series and these big games. He's pitched in the closer role before, so it's not a thing that we think like, oh, Abreu's scared to be the closer. I mean, he's been in this situation before. I just wonder what's going on because um, you would think this year he comes in ready to go, as ready as anyone can be, right? Going into his free agency year. It's just been horrible, horrible, horrible. you know, we got the Rockies coming up this series, so that should be really fun. The best offense in baseball going to the most hitter-friendly park. That should line up for a lot of runs and boosting our stats as far as the best offense. We're going, like you said earlier, no Hunter Brown, unfortunate. Hopefully he's not out too long. At least it's not Tommy John. We'll see what's reported. He's supposed to go to Houston to get reviewed by doctors or to get checked up by doctors on Monday, which is today, the day of the first game of the Rocky series. So hopefully it's nothing too bad. Hopefully it's just like a little 3 week you need a break thing, Hunter, and you can go back. Hopefully he's not out too long. But it's gonna go Bolton that first game, and then Burrows that third game. Javier that first game. That game with Javier scares me. With how he's been a fly ball pitcher in cores, especially with the ball's just not gonna move as much as it does in in any other stadium because that thin air and Javier doesn't really have anything else other than his fastball, and his fastball is not even his fastball anymore. So we'll see how that goes on Wednesday. Hopefully Burrows can do good. Burrows is a guy that does have really good stuff, and you always see that really good stuff pop when you watch him pitch. And in cores that stuff is not gonna be as good. But the Rockies also just don't have that many good Major League Baseball players. So we'll see how they end up doing. It should be a fun series. It should be a lot of runs. Hopefully Jordan just hits some absolute bombs, 450 plus feet, and we can just marvel at how good this guy is. But yeah, let's go. Let's go hit some homers, man. Let's have some fun. We have some guys with power. Let's go put up a bunch of runs. Let's have a series. But we're 6-4 to start. Good pace. Best offense in baseball. We just gotta get this pitching staff back locked in. But, I mean, that's the mark. That's been our mark, right? This pitching always figures it out. This pitching's always good. I have no doubt that they'll get back to it. This offense gonna keep scoring, and we're gonna be great. We're gonna be a good team. We're gonna make the playoffs, and we're gonna make a run. But that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap of the A series and slight preview of the Rocky series. I'll be back after the Rocky series to recap that and after every series this season. Hopefully, we're recapping a World Series in October. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Go Stros.